This playthrough is rated T for teen.
In the mountains, no one can hear you climb. Or scream, whatever. Greetings and salutations, viewers. We're back here with another episode of Syberia, the word before. In the last episode, Kate got closer and closer to find out where Dana Roze is, and she was found her old apartment, put some of the pieces together, and then found some old letters from Dana's boyfriend. But we find out that something bad happened to him on the mountain. Let's find out what it was.
Horst has already left. The scolding that Berger gave them yesterday about their lack of results in tracking down the Gorons really got to him.
Makes you wonder what that has to do with the main plot overall, but we'll see what happens.
Sauer's thesis. From what I understand, he accepted to work for the Brown Shadow because they were the only ones who would finance his research. What a waste.
Don't you love it when villains finance science and the scientists are like, ooh, I have moral. Do I have morals or not? Faust. It's been forever since I've read that book.
Goethe's Faust. One of Junter's posh friends, Murnau, if I remember rightly, turned it into a film about 10 years ago. I think the poor chap's dead now, though.
He's dead now. That's kind of one of those stories I need to reread again because I've forgotten a good deal of it. Well, that's the benefit of getting old, right? You forget some of the stuff you read when you were younger. So it's like, you know, when you get Alzheimer's, it's like learning a new thing all over again.
I ought to bring all the equipment together before I take my bag.
Probably a good idea. Hardtack biscuits. I don't think I've ever actually had hardtack before.
These biscuits don't compare with old Gustav's cooking, but at least they fill you up.
I've had camping gear because I was in the Boy Scouts when I was younger, but I was never like, I never had some of the classic stuff. I had like pemmican and stuff similar to that to cook out and all that, but yeah, I never had the MREs and hardtack and stuff like that. I've got to go with the old water canteen, of course.
Must remember to fill it up before I leave the camp.
Yeah, always got to have water.
I ought to bring all the equipment together before I take my bag.
Gotta have a knife. Call that a knife. This is a knife.
No chance of me venturing into the mountain without that.
True, true. Always have to have a bladed item of some sort. Cut trees or whatever. See, it's inside the bin here. Ooh. Letters. See, this one just says 1937 expeditions. This one says expeditions before 1937, 1 of 2. Expeditions before 1937, 2 of 2. Oh. That summer at the refuge, summer 1937. And then picture of their boss, I think. The mountain refuge, 1937. Samples from Austral's mountains. The group makes progress. The origin expedition, autumn 1937. If only my hand could write what holds my heart. Do you hold your heart? Baltair. Alright, that's it for that. That's his drawing book. This camera.
I'm so glad Junter lent it to me. I was able to take wonderful pictures behind Berger's back.
Remember pictures used to have film? Apparently they're kind of, well, not quite coming back, but there's my brother had like a Polaroid camera, like a small one for like scrapbooks. I'm like, I thought we got rid of Polaroids. What's going on with this world? Anyway.
Hope I can get back to sketching the valley. But with Berger putting on the pressure at the moment, I doubt it.
Not enough downtime, huh?
The letters I got from Dana before leaving Kantar with the expedition. It's tough not to be able to receive or give any news since leaving civilization.
Yeah, sorry, my man. Alright. Let's look around and clean ourselves up.
All those books. Only Horst could cot about works of anthropology beyond the frontiers of the known world. The march of science knows no bounds for him.
Nerd! Pretty much. Nice and clean. Alright, let's grab the bag now.
Better get going before...
You know what time it is?
Time to be heading out?
Enough! You couldn't care less whether we find the Gorons or not, could you? Well, mark my words, Cobatis. You'd better change your bloody attitude.
Okay, but yeah. I wasn't even supposed to come into work today.
You know full well Huss and the Brown Shadow forced me into this. And besides, my mission was to guide you and the rest of the expedition here, not to get involved in your harebrained research.
I couldn't give a damn. Everyone has already started except you. So you just get your butt upstream and help Sour carry out his research. The idiot is capable of getting himself lost again.
Yeah, well, yeah, we're not enemies. I don't know why you're getting it, but yeah, I'm just the guide, dude. I'm not your science advisor.
And if I refuse, what are you going to do about it? Is the bookworm about to turn nasty, huh?
Rest assured, Cobatis, I have no desire for an idiotic fistfight. If you prefer drawing silly romantic sketches instead of helping poor Sour, who's probably already lost, that's up to you. But for me, I intend to refer the matter to Herr Hurst. And then we'll see what the Brown Shadow does with your little waitress friend.
You watch it, Burger.
You don't go threaten some guy's girl now, do you? That's bad. That's bad form. But anyway, before we find Horse Sour, let's explore the camp because this is a secondary objective.
Poor animal. Burger's gone out of his mind with this search for the abominable snowman of his.
Poor animal. What? What? Alright, fine. You used it for food and all this other stuff. Why is it a poor animal? As long as you use all pieces of the animal, it's all free going, man. If you just hunt it, then just to hunt it for no reason, then that's the difference.
No one here. Bauer and Jaeger must have already taken off in search of the Gorun.
Time to be all sneaky. Ah, we have to figure out the code. We don't know the code yet. Let's take a look around before we see anything else around here.
Jaeger and Bauer have been a bit heavy-handed with the alcohol these past few evenings. Morale of the troops is at an all-time low.
Nah, let's leave. Since we don't have a... Yeah, we can do something with that. Let's fill up our water gourd. And if we do this, you'll get the Be Prepared achievement for doing this.
With this, I'll be able to venture out for as long as it takes to find Sour.
Not required, just something a little extra to do so. Ooh, a pendant.
Can't have been easy for Bauer to leave his daughter just after she was born.
Yeah, it's like everyone has they've left their own people. It's just Bauer's going a little bonkers recently.
Bauer's daughter. I sometimes forget I'm not the only one who left behind someone dear back across the mountains.
Precious babe.
This medal must belong to Bauer. He must have left it behind when he turned in for the night.
Sad to leave people behind, which I guess some people have a mission or objective they need to complete.
Not what you'd call cute, this Gorun. Just as well they haven't found it yet.
Where are they trying to find a Sasquatch, snowman, whatever, or a Neanderthal or whatever? An anatomical chart of the mythical Goron. Yeah, sure. We'll go with that. There's a rifle over here.
The mountain's dangerous and we're prepared for the worst. I only hope we don't have to use it.
We'll see what happens. But anyway, with that pendant we got, there's actually a... actually, let me show it off again. Well, okay, let me pick it up and I'll show you. There's a date on it. Yeah, 4/8/37, so we need to use that number. Well, the first two anyway. Oh yeah, do I have a diary set up I can read? No. As you can see there, so. Alright, let's get that. Alright, 0/04. 08. Huzzah!
Bauer, are you little...
Uh-oh, what's going on? Dear Herr Haas, I completely understand the Brown Shadow's anger should the expedition fail. That being said, I urge you not to hold it against Herr Berger or my fellow scientists. If blame there is to be, then look rather to Leon Kabatis. His lack of goodwill has become increasingly apparent throughout. Indeed, it would come to no surprise to me if his intention was to sabotage the whole expedition right from the very outset. You spineless cur.
All shipshape. Typical Bauer.
Yeah, he's basically just throwing the blame on someone else who has nothing to do with this whole situation. Yeah, those people are cowards. But anyway, if you've done that, you leave the tent, you'll complete
There's nothing more to do here, I guess. I should leave the camp now. But you'll have it coming, Bauer.
Yeah, you'll get the complete the secondary objective there. Okay. We'll talk to Bauer before we head out too. Might as well see what he has to. Actually, let's check the tin out. Walk around like a drunk.
Go and find Sauer.
Alright, calm down, you little piss ant.
Where on earth can the bloody creature be holed up?
Yeah, this guy's nothing but a nerdy little coward. Can't just have to take blame. Yeah, you're not. If you just blame others for your own incompetence and other such things, then you're not a man. You're nothing but a child, a wimp. A true adult will accept the consequences of their action. Although most people these days aren't adults, so you know, I have flaws. I accept what I do, but you know, I don't blame others. Sometimes I blame my circumstances, but if I'm truly frustrated, but. Alright, time to leave since we found everything, so.
Better get going.
Alright. Let's look around and see if we can find a sour or sore or whatever. Seer, sour, sour. Let's check over here before we do that.
Autumn is here. We'd better leave the mountain soon, or we won't survive.
Anything else around here? Nope, okay.
Anyone there? Looks like someone's left their gear over there. Better check it out.
Alright, got another secondary objective to explore and inspect the equipment before you leave, so might as well do that since we're in the area.
Stopping to read in the middle of the wilds. That's sour all over.
Huh. That's not a good idea, dude.
Whoever it belongs to must have left in a hurry to have left it behind.
Man, when I was in the Boy Scouts, never travel off by yourself unless you know, like, exactly where you're going. So, like, if you go into the middle of the woods, don't travel by yourself because you might get lost, that type of thing.
One of us must have stayed here. For a rest, maybe? One of the scientists must have stopped for a rest here. most probably Sour. But what made him leave in such a hurry that he left behind all his gear? I'd better have a look around to find out what happened here.
Yeah, the whole thing was the buddy system. Always have someone together. If you do get lost, don't move from the spot you where you were at last, because that means that it'll make it hard for people to find you.
What on earth is that? That mark must be what caused Sour to stop and rest for a while. I'd better head out and try to find him to clarify the situation.
Well, that wasn't a creepy stinger moment. Let's keep going. That was just abrupt.
What in God's name is that? Sour? What in the world?
Shh! Look what I found.
Is that a...
A go room. Yes, it's a go room. I heard him cry as I was taking a break near the path. Hurry, we must go fetch the others.
You go. He looks injured. I'd better stay and try and reach him before the current carries him away.
Right, Leon. Okay. But don't lose him.
All right, little fella. Don't move. I'm coming to get you.
Looks like more like an ape or a monkey than a Gorun, but okay.
Current's too strong to swim across. Better find another way.
Then again, this is the same world that had mammoths and men making mechanical machines of crazy clockwork grandeur. So I don't know.
All sorts of debris has been carried by the river. But other than trying to build a raft, I don't know what use it can be.
Alright, well anyway, we have to take care of this tree over here. Just see if there's anything to interact with. Nope. Yeah, so it'll make a bridge if we'll make a bridge out of a... Oh wait, no, that's witches.
The trunk isn't very thick.
Yeah, take the machete, because that's our only cutting weapon. Probably not the best thing to cut trees. You'd probably rather have an axe, which we just passed by, but whatever. Yeah, press that left mouse button. I'm totally doing stuff. Now I had to click a lot just to pull it out. Are you sure you're doing this right there, dude? Alright, now we have to hold it down. Yeah, it's almost like we could have had an axe here. Are you sure you're a mountaineer? That's not how he chopped it. Whatever. He chopped it the other way, technically. But either way, I know it's supposed to give the tree a focus to fall towards, so you cut it like that, or you could cut it the other way.
Easy, Leon. Now's not the time to get a dunking.
Now you could get pneumonia or something like that if you're not careful, or get swept down the river. It's not like you can. There's no death scenarios in this game, you know. So if there was, I'd be a bit more careful, but there isn't. So.
Take it easy. I'm not going to hurt you. I just want to look at your wound. What can I give him to show I mean no ill?
We'll just give him, yeah, give him the weapon. You're supposed to give him the heart attack, but you know.
Bad idea.
Yeah, let's just point a threatening sharp weapon at him. Well, or the water, either one.
Thirsty little fella? There you go.
Left click to go backwards.
Good boy. It's all right. Don't be afraid. You're all right, fella. Good boy. Eat up, fella. It's good, isn't it? Leg broken. I just want to look at it, all right? Look, little fella. If you let me see your wound, you can have another biscuit later, yes? It's broken, all right. It must be very painful. You're a brave boy. If I could clean the wound and brace your leg, we should be able to get you back to camp and make it better. Hold on. I'll be right back. Just be patient, little fella. I'll be right back.
I know he knows that the animal doesn't understand it, but it's all about the calm nature of it, because sometimes animals can get your sense of, like, how you present yourself. So if you present yourself big with a deep, booming voice, you know, you're presenting yourself as, like, a challenge or trying to be bigger than the creature. But if you're talking softly, you're presenting yourself as, calmer, and you're not being aggressive, stuff like that, so.
There's 2 bits of driftwood washed up there.
Let's take that. Got some straight branches.
They're straight enough to help get the Gorun back to camp.
Ooh.
The Gorun might become anxious if I leave now. There must be something around here I can use to take care of him. I need to find something to make a splint for the Gorun. Better be quick.
Now we can take our time. Either way, it all works out, I guess.
I could use those creepers to tie up the Gorun's splint. They seem to be stuck.
Gotta release them. Yeah. Now, come on. There we go. Can't. Have to go up more than anything. At some point the log would have gone back down. You know that, right? There, we got some liana strips here.
They should do fine to hold the Gorun's splint together.
Convenient. Alright, now we can help this creature.
Here we go, fella. This is going to sting us.
Pour the water! Oh, come on.
There. Wasn't so bad, was it? Now we just need to find a way to get you back across. Hey, did you do that, little fella? Well, better drawing than talking, huh? Now we just have to wait for the others.
I guess we're just gonna sit here and stare at the thing for a hot minute. I guess it's Leon's own introspection. Yeah. Just stare at this weird creature thingy. Okay.
Huh? Ah! You want another biscuit? You learn quick. It was a young specimen, my darling Dana. Almost like a child. And as soon as we made eye contact, I knew this was a creature endowed with reason. When my companions joined me, I immediately sensed we did not share the same point of view. They seemed blinded by the discovery. They couldn't see the individual. It was clear the young Goran wasn't a person in their eyes, just a subject for study. In their excitement, they seemed to lose all common sense.
What is wrong with it? Fruit. Have some fruit.
You shut him up in a cage. What do you expect? He's frightened.
Shut it up, or I'm going to gag it. What's that?
Well, you probably kidnapped this thing's child, so they're probably all coming to get it, you morons. Yeah, now we have to look for it. Look at all the scared foos. The foos. Yeah, he's right over there, so. Ah, it's a horror movie all of a sudden.
Must be the Gorn's mother. If we give it back, she'll probably leave.
And deprive us of an adult specimen? Are you mad? All right, partner.
Look at the size of her, Burger. Wound her, and we'll never get her back alive.
Who said we need her alive? They can't all be live specimens, can they?
No! Sorry about that, Burger, but I couldn't let you shoot them. Reinhardt, you all right?
But he's killed Burger.
Bauer, wait. You saw. It was an accident. He was going to kill the Gorin, sir. So I had no intention to...
Shut it, assassin!
My head.
Seriously, he killed him by just punching him? I assume he fell on something like his head hit a rock and it hit him at just the right way and it killed him or something like that. But seriously? Seriously? Anyway. Oh, we had to have some convoluted way of getting out, so anyway, we gotta get out of here. So, that's dangerous, man.
Looks like they're busy. Probably discussing what to do with me. If I can just loosen these ties, I'll be able to slip away without them noticing. Oh dear Lord, Burger. I'm sorry. I never meant to.
It was all an accident. Clearly it was, but...
I know what dangers await me in the mountain if I manage to escape from here. But whatever happens, it can't be worse than what Bauer and the others have in store for me. So I have no choice.
I mean, heck, they'd probably just kill you and leave you out here because there's no reason to take you with them.
That stone looks sharp enough. If I can reach it, maybe I can cut myself free.
Slowly but surely. Inch by inch.
I'll bring him some soup. We can't let him starve to death.
Bastard doesn't deserve food.
Typical horse, eh? Always the good Samaritan.
Aren't you afraid I was going to run for it?
They intend to hand you over to the authorities in Kantar for the murder of Reinhard Berger.
Doesn't surprise me. I came across a letter from Bauer that made me the scapegoat for everything that's gone wrong. Bauer had been planning this for some time now.
Well, that's not how it's going to be. I don't agree with what you did. But you don't deserve what Bauer and Jaeger intend for you. You must pretend to be tied up. Wait for them to fall asleep. Then take your gear and get as far away from here as possible. Hear me?
Yes, but what? So there you have the full story, my darling Dana. I don't know what will become of me, where my escape will lead me over the coming weeks, or what my life of a murderer on the run will be like. Always remember that my love for you is as strong as ever, and that my greatest desire is to hold you in my arms. I love you more than anything in the world. Leon, your Alpine lover.
Dana! Oh my goodness! Dana! What's wrong, Puppet? Lena, come, quick!
Dear Diary, so much has happened since I received Leon's letter a few days ago. I'm slowly recovering. Today, Papa and Mama told me that I was going to leave for a while. I'll explain what's going on, but I don't know where to begin. I need to gather my thoughts as I finish packing my suitcase.
I wonder if Dana has a little bit of a surprise here. Anyway, alright, let's put ourselves together. So, yeah, Leon has disappeared, and who knows where he is, and Dana has to survive and move on.
I can't believe Leon is on the run, all alone in those mountains in the middle of winter.
Yeah, realistically, he probably wouldn't survive. I think it says the same thing. Oh, no, it's slightly different. The High Plateau of Baltair, October 25th, 1937. My darling Edelweiss, it has been months since I last wrote. I hate myself for not sending you news more often and for not being able to receive news of you, but our expedition has taken us far from civilization and from its conveniences. I find myself now where probably no other modern-day human has ever ventured before. Today, my companions are getting ready to return home. I regret to inform you that I won't be able to go back to Europe with my fellow survivors. Something bad happened during the expedition, I no doubt, and partly to blame. So here in these frightful mountains I shall remain, for some time more. You'll probably hear them say all sorts of things about me. Not very pretty things, I would imagine. Nevertheless, I would like you to know my version of events. I hope that these lines, scribbled off in a hurry, will allow you to understand what happened, and that your feelings for me will remain intact. And that's what we read before. Once we had cleared away the unavoidable logistical and administrative matter, the Origin expedition left behind Kantar, the capital of Baltair, as well as any trace of civilization. After hard days of hiking, we set up our base camp on the threshold of a high valley where rhododendrons grew. All the witnesses seemed to concur. This was where the Goron, the famous man of the mountains, was most frequently sighted. Our Sherpas did not want to linger and were clearly utterly terrified at the thought they might encounter humanity's missing link. Origin's scientists were on a mission to capture a Goron and bring it back to Europe. The Brown Shadow, our wealthy benefactor, intended to boast to the international scientific community about its extraordinary discovery. As you know, several members of our group were entirely in agreement with its line of thinking. Others simply saw it as a generous and accommodating sponsor. Above all, we all shared a love for science, and were not bothered by the fact that it sometimes required us to make some nauseating compromises. For weeks on end, we explored every mountain and valley around camp, to no avail. There was not a single Goron in sight. A few blues bears succumbed to our thorough investigations that they're somehow similar in shape, but the mysterious man in the mountains remained unseen. Autumn was approaching. The rivers started to freeze at the edges, and the prospect of having to head back with nothing for our toil was becoming more and more apparent. The joyful banter of the first weeks was no more. The men were becoming moody and tense, especially our chief, Reinhard Berger. Each morning, he sent the team out in every possible direction in search of any trace of the Goron. We were racing against the clock before the harshness of winter forced us back down into the valley. Yesterday at dawn, I left on Reinhard's orders to look for Horst Sauer, who had decided to follow up the stream up the mountains. Horst was undoubtedly the least experienced mountain climber among us, and Reinhard was worried, as he had not yet returned to camp. Eventually found him quite high up at the fork of the stream on an islet covered in everything the water had swept up. Horst pointed out a pile of sticks from which I could occasionally hear something, or rather someone, wailing over the noise of the bubbling stream. We could not believe our eyes. It was not quite human, not quite animal either. Its shape and fur looked like the accounts we had gathered. It would appear Horst had found what we were looking for, the infamous Goron, abominable snowman to some, and the ghost of the Baltair Mountains to others. I told my friend we should immediately go inform the rest of the expedition while I tried to reach the tiny creature tangled up in the middle of the island. Getting to the creature was quite a trial, but I'll spare you the details. Its leg was seriously wounded. I attempted to secure it in a makeshift brace, and the creature finally accepted my help after I gave it a cracker. I then tried to bring it back to shore. It was a young specimen, my darling Dana, almost like a child, and as soon as we made eye contact, I knew this was a creature endowed with reason, some sort of primitive hominid. When my companions joined me, I immediately sensed we did not share the same point of view. They seemed blinded by the discovery. They couldn't see the individual. It was clear that the young Goron wasn't a person in their eyes, just a subject for study. In their excitement, they seemed to lose all sense of common sense. It was quite a challenge to calm them down and convince them the odd little creature needed food and medical attention. We eventually brought it back to camp, where I worked on repairing its fracture and dressing its wounds. I even managed to feed it some hardtack with jam. Night was falling. For a while, my companions appeared to be treating the little Goron with some degree of clemency, and I'd agreed the battery of tests to be inflicted upon it could wait until the following day. That evening, we all joyfully raised our glasses to the occasion. Reinhard Berger had hidden a few bottles of champagne and schnapps in the bottom of our trunks just for the occasion. Around midnight, our small prisoner began to moan. It was a long and painful whine that echoed off the cliffs all around. We were tired of the events of the day. Some of us had knocked back quite a few and were not prepared to listen to screeching cries just as we were about to turn in for the night. We walked over to the cage. Reinhard Berger tried to calm the Goron down, but to no avail. He had threatened to gag it when it was a booming growl rang out from the depths of the rocks, answering the young Goron's cry. The huge shape of what indeed appeared to be an adult Goron sliced across the moonlight and walked menacingly towards us. It clearly intended to free its kin. I advised my friends to clear the way and let this towering creature, probably the infant's mother, go by. We all know how powerful maternal instinct can be, especially in bears. Alas, Reinhard was not of the same opinion. He grabbed a rifle. Our expedition would be considered a success whether the Goron was dead or alive. Without so much as a second thought, I jumped on him right when he was about to pull the trigger and tackled him to the ground so that the powerful anthropod, who saw us as a mere obstacle between her and her son, would not trample him. Mother Goron destroyed the cage in the blink of an eye, breaking the bamboo bars like they were made of straw. She grabbed her infant and vanished from sight. I stood up, but Reinhard Berger did not budge. He was lying on the ground, dead. When he fell, the unfortunate bugger's head hit a rock, and it was my fault he was dead. As far as my friends could see, I was not trying to protect him from the Goron, but on the contrary, trying to keep him from shooting her. My dear Dana, I must admit that both these thoughts crossed my mind simultaneously for a split second. I considered the Goron to be a human being, a primitive one, but certainly not a wild animal, one who kills without hesitation. As you may have guessed, Sauer, Jaeger, and Bauer disagreed. As they saw it, I was the person who irresponsibly murdered their leader, and they intended to hand me over to the authorities in Kantar once we came down from the valley. They were so vehemently upset with me, I quickly understood they were incapable of mercy or understanding. They pulled me away from the group and tied me to a tree. After they buried Reinhard, my once-upon-a-time friends decided to put an end to our gruesome adventures as quickly as possible. They apparently wanted to leave straight away the next morning. Horst Sauer is to thank for me writing you this letter today. He told me he was bringing me food and took the opportunity to untie my hands. I can only imagine the bond we had created over the past weeks prevailed, and perhaps he felt the same way I did about the Gorons and their human-like qualities. I honestly do not know. I slipped away in the dark without further ado while they were sleeping. So there you have the full story, my darling Dana. I don't know what will become of me, where my escape will lead me over the coming weeks, or what my life of a murderer on the run will be like, but always remember that my love for you is as strong as ever, and that my greatest desire is to hold you in my arms. I love you more than anything in the world, and my greatest wish is to hold you in my arms again. Leon, your Alpine lover. Or whatever you name him, I guess. So.
I need to finish packing my suitcase before we say goodbye, dear diary. That scientist I met at the refuge, Horst Sauer, he brought me the letter after his return from Baltayar.
Yeah, at least someone had to kept their sense of humanity.
The medication to treat my cough. Mama is forcing me to take it again since I collapsed after getting Leon's letter. I should pack it.
Yeah, probably should.
I was planning to give up all my old toys and dolls. But now I guess I'm going to need them in a few years.
Yeah. Mazel tov. Congratulations. Too bad your father won't be there to help. The father, because, you know...
I'll put you away in there as soon as I'm done, dear diary. Better to keep you safe than risking to lose you where I'm going.
Obviously, there's reasons why he's not going to be there, so... Not going to get the milk in that case.
I'm almost done here. I just need to add my medicine and the brochure Herr Zimmer gave Papa and Mama. Oh, and a little souvenir of them would be nice.
Would be nice. Alright, we'll mess with that here in a second.
Junta inspired me, I guess.
Now that I think about it, Junta had more influence on me than I thought. I now write myself reminders as he suggested, which this is the one Kate found.
Poor Papa and Mama. They were devastated when the doctor they called after I collapsed discovered my secret. That secret I dared not speak about to anyone. Not even you, dear diary. Now I can tell you. I'm pregnant, dear diary. Leon is the father. There were a lot of tears and screams when the doctor told Papa and Mama. But they finally decided to pretend that the baby will be the foster child of a missing relative. I know everyone expects me to feel guilty, but I can't help thinking of names. If it's a boy, of course it'll be Leon, to bring his father good luck. And if it's a girl, I think I'll call her Anna.
Yeah, the reason it's the whole out of wedlock situation, you know, that type of society.
Papa looks 10 years older since he learned of my pregnancy. But what seems to have affected him the most was to ask Herr Zimmer for help.
Oh dear.
Mama says Leon is nothing but an unscrupulous adventurer who took advantage of an innocent girl. But I know it's not true.
Leon seems like a nice guy, so they don't know him.
I hope you are well, Leon, wherever you are now.
Actually, the weird thing about the parents not liking him, other than the whole out of wedlock thing, is that the guy is like a gold medalist in adventure. It's not like he isn't qualified, you know. I think if I was a father, I would be pleased as pot that my daughter was dating like a worldwide athlete that seemed like a nice guy, was an artist, all this other stuff. But I guess different mentalities, different eras and all that.
Papa and Mama have locked me up in here since they discovered my condition. I'm going to miss playing the piano while I'm away, let alone going to the academy.
Then again, I don't know. Most fathers do over protect their children, so maybe I would be just as bad. I don't know.
No need to go in the bathroom. I've already packed my toiletries, and I won't feel sick again until tomorrow morning.
Then again, I don't have children, so... And unfortunately, probably never will. Oh well. That's just life. Embroidered handkerchief.
Come on, Dana. There were enough tears already.
Right. Cried him a river.
As I said, dear diary, I'm leaving tomorrow. Papa and Mama are sending me to a sanatorium out of town for a few months. They say it's for continuing my convalescence. In other words, to send me and my secret away from prying eyes. My parents have accepted the offer from their longtime friends, the Zimmers, to pay for my hospitalization at the sanatorium. The Zimmers said it was in the name of their long friendship with Papa and Mama. But I think they feel bad that they can afford to flee Wagen in the Brown Shadow, whereas Mama and Papa can't.
Yeah. Fun family times, am I right?
The ideal summer and winter resort in the most picturesque and enchanting spot looking over the River Dombra. Well, let's hope that's true.
It's a sanatorium, right? Yeah, about that. Alright, well, let's put our stuff in our packing case. Alright, put everything in there. Medication. Alright, photo of the parents and the brochure. Gotta put it in just right. I actually don't know how to pack a suitcase well. Because most people don't use suitcases in the same way anymore, so. Or not these types of suitcases. They usually have the roller suitcases or whatever, so.
Well, that should be it.
Alright, close the sucker. Damn. Making a pregnant woman do this. How dare you?
All I need to do now is to conclude my diary entry and hide it somewhere safe with Leon's letter.
To hopefully some nosy little, like, lady in 2005 to find it, you know what I mean? Goodbye, diary. Stop walking around like a drunk. You're pregnant. You can't be drinking.
Now you know everything, dear diary. It is now, I guess, the time to say goodbye for a while. All I can hope now is that Leon will survive winter in those faraway mountains. And that he will find a way to come home and clear his name. We will wait until then, me and the baby.
Me and the baby?
Do you still think there might be a family connection between you, Kate Walker?
Well, I mean, it seems pretty obvious, but But, you know, who knows, man? Remember, they say you have a twin in the world, but they don't have to be related to you. Just because genetics are kind of weird, like the right combination can happen. You could look like someone from another place, but not be related in the slightest.
I don't know. But every time we find a new piece of the puzzle, Dana's story becomes more complex.
What do you plan on doing now, Kate Walker?
According to the diary, Dana left for a sanatorium outside of town. The records might tell what became of her and her baby. But before we go, there's something that's been bothering me.
What is it, Kate Walker?
The pogrom that Frau Heigl told us about, the one during which the house and the neighborhood were ransacked, happened in 1938, if I recall correctly. Dana said that she was leaving for the sanatorium for a few months at the end of 1937.
Indeed, Kate Walker. So it is very likely she was safe and sound over there when the pogrom occurred.
Yes. But what if she was home with her baby? I need to be sure before we leave for the sanitarium, Oscar. We need to search the neighborhood for more evidence.
All right, Kate Walker. Where you lead, I will follow. As long as you don't forget your bag.
Trust me, Oscar. You're the only friend I've got right now. I ain't losing you.
And you stuff him in a bag. Yeah, that's what friends do. It's almost comical in a way. Alright, well, is there any information on Dana around this place? Will we be able to locate the sanitarium and get further clues into Kate Walker's mystery that is Dana Roze? We'll find out next time in the next episode of Syberia, the World Before. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. I'll see you next time.